Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome back to Unraveled Beer Thoughts. And I had the pleasure of a fantastic beer tasting this past weekend. And have 4 different beers here. I'm not drinking them right now. I'm not doing the tasting on screen, so I'll just kind of give you my thoughts and notes on the different things I drank and kind of show you what I drank. First up was a Yeti, and largely because it was pretty much Imperial Stout tasting. Yeti was my baseline. It's my favorite. I hate to say it's my favorite beer because I've drank beer I like better than Yeti, but as far as sort of what beer do I like to go to and drink all the time, year round, I like to have it in my fridge, have one ready. Yeti is it. So bold, Russian Imperial Stout, lots of bitterness, pours like motor oil, great, great head on the beer every time, very consistently brewed, fantastic beer. I love it. If you don't like Russian Imperial Stouts, you probably won't like this. Or if you really favor sweet stouts, this is not going to be sweet. It's bitter, like my heart. No, hopefully my heart's not that bitter. But so that was one of the beers that was sort of the baseline beer. The other one I found in the same day was this lovely Yeti Mexican chocolate. Comes in this kind of cool looking can. It's kind of a tall one. We had 4 folks tasting, so plenty to go around. And this one was good. It's a little bit sweeter than the regular Yeti, and it definitely had a nice chocolate flavor. What kind of comes through more than anything else, I thought, was the peppers. I really caught the peppers on this one. One of the other guys that was tasting with us, the chocolate hit him right away, and he loved this one. He thought it was really, really good. He liked it better than the base Yeti. To me, I thought the peppers were a little bit, it wasn't overpowering. It was just more pepper. I would have liked a little bit more chocolate with the pepper, personally. But I think that's more of a preference for me. I have had Prairie Bomb, and I feel like the pepper in Prairie Bomb a little more balanced than this one, although that also has vanilla in it, and this doesn't have vanilla in it, so it's a different beer. Prairie Bomb's probably a little sweeter, maybe, as well. So this was a good beer. I'll probably get another one at some point just to maybe taste side by side with the Prairie Bomb. Good beer, Yeti Mexican chocolate. I think there's only like 2 on the shelf when I got this, so I don't know how easy it is to get. My buddy who was traveling, he and his wife were traveling up in Oregon and came back with a Black Butte³. This is a Imperial Porter aged in whiskey casks, so not considered an Imperial Stout, but, is it a porter? Is it a stout? I tend to think there's actually a difference. I would say it did taste a lot like a whiskey barrel aged stout. As much as a porter, it's 14.1%, so pretty strong. This was good. This was tasty. I did enjoy it. I would say I'm fairly critical of barrel-aged stouts. Now, it's not because I don't like them. I do like barrel-aged stouts. But what I find in quite a few that I've had is that they're just like the whiskey is way overpowering. And so the beer doesn't actually come through. And this is one where I didn't necessarily feel like the whiskey was overpowering. I actually thought it was a nice whiskey background taste. Probably my criticism on this one was that I thought the background beer didn't stand out to me. It wasn't notable. The whiskey comes through. The whiskey's not overpowering, but just not as balanced across the board as I would like. Community Barrel-Aged Legion is a really good yearly barrel-aged stout that comes out that I love. You always taste the beer. Great background beer, great flavor. You get the whiskey or the scotch or whatever barrel, the rum they aged it in, varies from year to year. So I really like that one. And that's probably something that I might most of my barrel-aged stouts I compare it to. I've done side-by-sides with Community, Goose Island, KBS, CBS, and I find Community stands up well with those. In fact, I tend to feel like Goose Island's one that most of those too much whiskey, not enough good beer, and I've had the tiered where you get 3 years in a row. I'm not thinking of the word for it, but 3 different years of a single kind of beer with Goose Island, and feel like it's very inconsistent, changes all the time from year to year, but not inconsistent in not necessarily a good way. Because if you do Barrel Aged Legion, very different from year to year, but very good and very purposeful. Whereas Goose Island's just like, well, this year terrible beer. I think one year we dumped half a bottle down the drain because we were like, that was one very good. So back to this tasting, Jester King, great brewery down in Austin. Maybe one of the more highly sought after breweries in Texas. I got to go down there, got several beers from them, but one of them was this beer that they sold in a crowler called Necrølithe. They didn't spell it out all the way. 11.1%. Jester King is all open fermentation down there. So this was a 11.1% stout. It was very good. Now, one of the folks that was tasting did say, oh, this had a sour taste. I thought that was interesting because I drink a lot of sour beers, and to me, this was a very balanced stout. Very good. It's very tasty. It's very smooth. I don't know if I'd call it a Russian Imperial Stout. It probably falls more into the just regular stout, Imperial Stout category, but it's very good. It was tasty. I loved it. There was a tiny sour taste, but not a ton. Just a good balance. So I think you can unfortunately only get it on site. I at least haven't seen it anywhere else, and since they sold it in a crowler, that tells me probably they only serve it there. But man, great brewery to visit if you're down in Texas. Definitely recommend it. Even if you have a family, super to visit with a family. They do have snakes on the property sometimes, so you gotta watch that. But they will warn you and let you know there's goats. My family went down there with me, and they were like, we want to come back here. Which for me to go to a brewery with my family and then to say they want to come back is impressive, because I don't think there's too many other breweries where they've said that. And that's with 2 kids. So they'd love to go back again, but they've got great beer there. So of these, probably would say the Yeti's still my favorite of these. If I drink multiple, if you said, hey, I'm going to give you 5 beers, I want you to drink 1 a day for this week, I'd probably pick Yeti. But Jester King is good. I would try this one again. Black Butte 3, it's good. There's another bottle in my fridge that my buddy left me. I think this one was a 2019 bottle. So we drank this one because it was aged a little bit. I think the one I have in the fridge is a 2020 or a 2021. So I might let that one just sit in there and age for a while. I will drink this again at some point when I see it on the shelf. That was tasty. And there's some other things I'd like to do side by side with. So that is today's beer tasting. Well, actually, theoretically, 3 days ago beer tasting. Brought to you by Unraveled Beer Thoughts. If you have comments on these beers, if you've had these beers before, or thoughts of things that you would like to see paired with one of these beers, it'd be a long time before I get another one of these, so maybe later, a year or so, paired with one of these, or you have thoughts about what were good beers to pair with the Russian Imperial Stout, then yeah, put that in the comments, maybe give it a like, and until next time, thank you for joining Unraveled Beer Thoughts.